This is a test of the City of Palatka audio system. This is a test of the City of Palatka audio system.
We're here to start, and before we have our regular commission meeting, we're going to recognize our graduates from Leadership Academy this year. Mr. Griffith.
Thank you, Mayor. So I think most of you have heard about this program. This is the second time around for us. And I'm going to keep my comments brief. I know Dr. Saviak has some things he wants to say, and this is all about recognizing those individuals that attended the program. So as part of recognizing them this year, I think you recall, we like to give the graduate a gift. This year, we're giving them a couple books, Encouraging the Heart, Cheer on Your Team, and Comfort Crisis. I was trying to think about what to say, and I kind of have to point back to Encouraging the Heart. And there's a lot of good tips in there. One of them is kind of so simple, it's kind of stupid. Basically, just say thank you. So that's what I'm going to say. I'm going to say thank you to the commission for funding this program and recognizing its performance. Thank you, Dr. Saviak, for leading the program. And thank you to the graduate for taking time out of your busy schedules to attend. With that said, Dr. Saviak.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. I commend the mayor and city commission for making sure the citizens of Palatka are always served by the best leaders, providing services, programs, and capital projects as effectively and efficiently as possible. This is an outstanding team of leaders. They love serving citizens. I want to also express gratitude to interim city manager Jonathan Griffith, city clerk Sonny Krantz, Ms. Virginia Jones in Human Resources, and Mr. Courtney James in Facilities Management for all their support in the success of this program. Every single detail was covered, so students had a superb learning environment. Students sharpened key leadership skills such as research, planning, project management, budgeting, program evaluation, and analyzing challenges and identifying solutions. They learned about the proven principles of successful leadership so they can always be the leaders we all would want to follow. This experience also strengthens teamwork, culture, and a shared commitment to the mission of best serving citizens. I was blessed to be your professor during this academy. This is a class of gifted leaders and kind and caring individuals. They brought a diversity of professional and personal backgrounds to class, allowing them to share different perspectives and valuable insights and effective solutions as a team. The peer-to-peer learning enhances the educational experience for everyone. They excelled on all their assignments. The assignments concentrate on the knowledge and skills that successful leaders need to utilize every day. They each presented a chapter from John Maxwell's classic 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership. They each researched a case study on leadership to identify best practices and model policies and programs. They completed a real-world 2-hour in-class exercise analyzing a host of important issues and discussing potential solutions for policymakers for a regional challenge affecting multiple local governments. It was a good opportunity for them to show what they have learned about leadership, teamwork, analyzing problems, and identifying solutions. The leaders who provided the opportunity for these leaders to grow, you can be very proud. They are engaged, enthusiastic, and hardworking. They gave and got the most they could to and from this experience. They are grateful to you for this opportunity and look forward to giving away what they've received. It was obvious from their presentations that they had practiced and prepared. It was evident from their case study analysis assignments that they are thinking like leaders think about problems and solutions. Their teamwork in the capstone assignment in our final class together, analyzing and addressing a real-world challenge and opportunity for local government, was exemplary. If I could note one defining characteristic to this class, it would be this. There was a high level of participation and genuine enthusiasm for the topics and learning. We always had excellent class discussions. The students shared a lot of experience and ideas with each other. They really liked exchanging ideas and discussing the right strategies for success as leaders. We also had fun. They have a good sense of humor, and they kept it enjoyable for everyone. We all admire those who want to learn and grow, especially students who already have a lot on their plate with careers, families, and other commitments. The city of Palatka is a leader among cities in Florida for growing leaders and providing a program such as this one. We are especially proud of these graduates. Your hard work, dedication, integrity, and strong commitment to professional excellence are very much appreciated. Residents are the real beneficiaries of this program. I'm very much looking forward to seeing your continued accomplishments in the years to come, both as leaders and as you grow more and more leaders using everything you've learned. We're always here to support you as leaders and as you always support those you lead. Today is your day. This is a major and impressive personal, professional, and academic achievement. We celebrate your commitment to being the leaders who set the standard for excellence. And we will now ask you to come forward and join the interim city manager and mayor and myself when your name is announced to receive your certificate of completion and a special book on leadership.
Okay. I'll get them if you just want to stand up here. Okay, these are in no particular order. There's no valedictorian or superlative.
Okay.
And I know that someone is be here tonight, so I may read off names, they may not be here. I know Sean was working a double out of the plant. So let's just get started. And if by chance you've already read the book that you're gifted, just let me know. We've got more, and feel free to share the one you already got. So first, Philip Smith.
Congratulations.
Ashton Cassidy. Would you like that book? Thank you.
Congratulations.
Brad. So anyways, Brad Forsythe couldn't be with us tonight, so round of applause for Brad Forsythe. Jewel McNair. Gotta go. Don Bordeaux. Amanda Tuberville.
That was great. You did it so much.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Peachy.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Daniel Nicholson. Dad Branford.
Thanks.
Dell McMillan. You know, I think. Pretty well. Joe Baricchio.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Man, congratulations. Doctor, appreciate it. Thank you, everybody. Thanks, guys. Appreciate you all.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Marcia, get up.
Thank you very much.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
We missed your money condition.
Oh, it's okay.
I tried.
Give me something. Here. Jesse Sweets. Aaron Hughes. I think that's everybody. If we could get all the graduates to come up for a group photo with the commission, that'd be great. I'm gonna stay by you.
Yeah.
You can't stand in front of
That's fine.
I might want to turn a little bit.
Sure, it's
Get
fine.
close.
Hold your breath.
And we'll get a little bit closer.
That's like your family.
See. Good, that's great, actually. Just look at me and smile and relax. And one more. Thank you very much.
We're just gonna pretend that this one's yours, okay?
But you will get the real deal.
What's the
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Friends, have a seat and make yourself comfortable. I'm going to start the meeting. I'm calling the meeting to order. We're going to start with the invocation. Pastor Mulberry, please.
Yes, good evening, everyone. Father, we thank you again for your loving kindness. Certainly, God, for the multitude of your tender mercy. God, we thank you because you've given us another day, another opportunity, another chance to come together. We pray, God, that you will garner our decisions and guide our directions and give us, Lord, what we need as we acknowledge you. We pray, God, for civility, that you would keep us in order. Give us how to do the business of this city, God, with precision. And we thank you for doing what you do. We give you the glory and honor, praise in Jesus' name. Amen.
Commissioner Braun, could you please
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
roll call, please?
Thank you. Commissioner Tammy McCaskill.
Here.
Commissioner Justin Campbell.
Present.
Commissioner Will Jones.
Here.
Commissioner Rufus Borum. Mayor Robbie Correa.
Present.
All members present and accounted for, and we have a quorum.
Thank you. Approval of minutes, as we've been having to review minutes.
I'll make a motion that we approve the minutes as written.
Second. Okay. We have a motion and a second. All in favor? Aye. Any opposition? Thank you. We're going to make a slight adjustment to the agenda. And we're going to, from the regular business, move to number 8, the audit. The auditor's here, traveling from near and far. And we want to have them give the opportunity to give us their update and information about the audit. Jonathan,
We could do it after public recognition. I just wanted to move it up.
that's fine, that's fine. Then we'll just go right to public recognition, legislative update. That's up, hold on. Somebody here. Okay, Ms. Jackson, Ms. Shields, are you, who is going to give us an update?
Yes, thank you so much. My camera is acting up, but give me 2 seconds and I think I have it straight. But thank you so much for the opportunity to present to you all this evening. And so we really, really appreciate the opportunity to work with you and to serve you. So first of all, I want to thank you for the work that you've done. And I'm going to apologize for the background noise. It is lightning here in South Florida. So if you hear that, that's what that is. But just want to congratulate you, Mayor and Commissioners, for the outstanding work that you did in Tallahassee this year. Also, I would be remiss if I did not recognize the outstanding work of Representative Bobby Payne and Senator Hudson. And even though he was also working with Senator Perry. So we, the work that was done this year was just short of extraordinary. I have to also commend your staff and congratulate the interim city managers. I don't think I've had a chance to do that publicly, but just a concerted effort on all ends. So with that, I'd like to go through the veto list, a veto memo that we sent to you guys. We survived the veto. And so if I could go through that list with you, you should have it in front of you. The appropriation projects that were approved included the sewer main and manhole improvements. You asked for 5 million. You received 2.5 million. Then on the portable water main, you requested 7 million. You got 7 million. On the pedestrian cyclist safety phase, you requested 2.5 million. You got 1.5 million. And then on the housing initiative, you requested 2 million. You received 2 million. And for a grand total of $13 million. That is extraordinary. And you should take a bow. Yes, so it's so very, very excited about that. And we survived the veto. So not much else needs to be said besides this. We just had a phenomenal year. I do want to mention a couple of other funding opportunities that we have suggested and forwarded to you. We are continually looking for opportunities for additional funding, one of which works within the hurricane relief and recovery, and the Department of Economic Opportunity. If you go down to that, there was a total budget in the budget of $1.82 billion. And many of those initiatives are grant initiatives. And you all have done a phenomenal job of replying to grants. And so those are some additional opportunities for funding. And we are in housing, in emergency management, in ag. And so we've listed all of those funding opportunities as something a little bit different than we've done in years past. We really have paid attention to funding outside of the member process. Then I do want to mention a couple of other issues real quickly that did not pass, that we were paying attention to. One having to do with partisan local elections, that failed. Sovereign immunity, that failed. Vacation rentals, that failed. And then, of course, the local occupational taxes piece that passed. And many of these you have already discussed with the League of Cities, because you do remain active with the local elected officials with the League of Cities, which is absolutely great. And I don't want to go through all of them because of time, but we have detailed a list of those things which have passed. Now, just real quickly for upcoming sessions. Session starts in January this upcoming year. And so we will start, or we have started, to look at issues that will be important to you. Committee weeks will start in September. Member project requests will happen in December. We'll be talking to Rep. Payne, talking to your staff, and certainly Mr. Manager, talking to you to get direction as to how you would want to go. We expect that we won't have quite as much money as we did last year, but we do expect that this will still be a really good year. In anticipation of the next leadership, we have been working closely with Representative Perez. As you know, he's from South Florida, but we also are continuing to work with our fearless leader here in Palatka, with Rep. Payne, because he is a part of leadership and has been just phenomenal when it comes to Palatka. So with that, I'll stop to make sure to answer any questions and get you guys back on schedule.
Thank you. And thank you for everything you do. Now, do we have any questions?
I just want to commend them for the phenomenal job they've done for us over the past few years that we've been working. We had a partnership, And I just can't thank you guys enough, for what you've done and continue to do for us. Yourself, Beckham Protocol, Latoya Shields, your whole staff and everybody who work with you. Thank you for working with our staff, Jonathan, our city manager, all of our commissioners. We work very hard every year, pounding the ground, Tallahassee, DC, and we brought it home again. So we brought in 13 million amongst the 10, in addition to working with like Rep. Payne, Senator Perry, as well as Senator Travis Hudson. So a lot of people don't see the work that we do, but we pound the ground and we bring it home. So
And it takes a lot of, just to piggyback off and not repeat what Commissioner Warren said, but we can't say thank you enough, and how you all take us around and lead us around Tallahassee make us feel like family. But it takes that fearless leadership and that boldness to ask big when we go in the room with those senators and those leaders to ask. And we got what we asked for this year, basically what we asked for. So we thank you all for that. Staff working year round with you all, and just not, restless like nights and continuing to work when we're not there and when we're there. We just thank you so much, and the work that we do together behind the scenes that a lot of you all don't see. But we thank you all for the support that you all give us and allow us to be your voices when we're out in Tallahassee and out in Washington, D.C. and up in Kansas and different conferences that we go to, for believing in us and trusting us. So again, thank you, thank you, thank you.
I just want to say thank you for everything that you all are doing for us and have done for us. I also want to say thank you for keeping us at the table.
yes.
Throughout this entire process, every table that you've sat at, we've been there with you, and that speaks volumes to who you all are as a firm and the knowledge that you all possess, that you are keeping us continuously in the loop. We don't hear from you once or twice a year, we hear from you often. And that speaks again volumes to you all. Kudos, and I look forward to continuing to work with you all in the future.
And of course, I ditto my colleague. Thank you, Ms. Jackie, and your staff.
Thank you.
Thank you for everything. I can't reiterate it, but we stand, but I agree and concur. So thank you so much. And thank you for all your guidance.
Thank you. It is such an honor. And 13 million, people are gonna be a little jealous. So thank you.
I know we need to move on to summer interns, but I do want to tell you what the next step is. Related to this, we're working on getting the contracts in place with the funding agencies. Sometime in September, we will bring back forward the discussion of legislative priorities, have you guys review that, make necessary changes. We'll coordinate with our lobbyists, and I believe Northeast Florida Regional Planning Council wants to make a presentation about the same time. Because in addition to appropriations, you guys need to take formal action on other legislative items that are not related to appropriations. So we can either vote for or against different legislation that being brought. And I just want to mention it. I think Mandy was already referenced once, and this is a team effort from the commission down to staff to our lobbyists and to our representatives in Tallahassee. But we could not do this without her, and I just want to say thank you, Mandy.
Yay, Mandy. You have the best staff ever. Thank you, Mandy. Absolutely.
I echo those sentiments. I just want to say, I thoroughly love working with the city of Palatka, thoroughly love Mandy. She takes every call. I love it. And we get it together and we make sure that everything is where it needs to be. I was extremely proud to be able to give you that phone call, Mr. City Manager, to let you know this is the final, this is where we're at. And so I was very pleased to do that. It is a joy to work. It is a joy to work with the city of Palatka. So I just wanted to share that. And also, since we're keeping you all in the loop, resiliency dollars with the Department of Environmental Protection. Application deadline September 1st, but we can have a conversation in more detail, but I just want to put that on the forefront.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Can we laugh that 13 million?
13 million. Here's my
Peter.
The lucky 13.
Thank you again. We're gonna
Thank you.
Meeting, we have a wonderful agenda.
Thank you.
Now we're going to move on to the definition of our summer intern for 2023.
Thank you, Madam Mayor and Commissioners. This year, we were privileged to be able to employ 8 phenomenal interns. They're wonderful young adults that perform above our expectations, really. So I'm gonna call all of them out, but I did invite the department heads that they particularly work with. After we give each of the certificates out, if there's something in particular you would like to say about your intern, please feel free. We'll start with Reagan Blackmer.
To go down to the department.
And she was Public Works. Riley Blackmer. Yes, Kelly Dasher. Jalea Miles. Police Department. Ian Session. Planning and Zoning. Dante Wilkerson, Community Affairs. Trenton Williams, Police Department. And Marshall Yevington, General Services.
Y'all wanna move in real quick?
Thanks,
Josh. Well, that's 3 minute speech, right?
Riley, could you, so I just want to speak very quickly to, Riley Blackmer. She was the summer intern for HR. Phenomenal. She really took charge, moved and exceeded above anything I could ever expect her to do. She was able to grasp concepts, stand in the gap when I wasn't able to be there. And I am so proud of her. She's going to do a great thing. And I just really wanted to say thank you and bless you. For all that. Are there any other?
That's tomorrow.
Good part.
We just really want to thank you for trying to ride the bull at Public Works. I'm sure you can, both of you can recall the stories and the interactions with the public, and you know, we want you back. Please come back. Honestly, without you guys being there, with you specifically, you know, it's gonna be a little bit quieter, but we'll just have to figure out how to do everything without you.
Dante, all world Dante. He told me a story that made me kind of laugh. He played 40 years at Palatka High, I only won 4 games.
I tell anybody else that's.
Because I said the same thing. All just, Dante has been a valuable help to us. He's been in all our departments, from Reno and Recreation to Gordon James and Coach Art. He helped myself and David Green and all the code enforcement. So he's been all world. I don't really know how the program works. I know he's in college now, but if we can get him back, I want him back.
Wow. And I'm sorry. if I may. I want to recognize Dante's grandmother out there, Mrs. Wilkerson, Miss Wilkerson. Just want to say hi. I don't think his grandmother. I know Dante does a great job. His mom is out there as well, but I don't think that his grandmother would have it any other way. Her work ethic is phenomenal. Her daughter's work ethic, and Dante is cut from great cloth. Your grandson is doing a great job, and I am so proud that you are able to sit here and see him grow. Thank you.
I first met Kyle, actually I heard of him through the high school mock interview program. And I thought, and they told me, we have a young man here who's really interested in city planning. I was like, hello. Couldn't wait to meet him at the interview. And when I did, I was like, whoa, this guy's really bad. And so he came on board with us this summer, and it's been a real pleasure. Again, he, like us, some of the other interns, just took the bull by the horns, answered the phones, helped me throw people out of the office. And it's just been amazing. So I really, as with everyone else, I echo their sentiments. We would love to have you back.
Just don't come to the mic too often, but I have to take the mic at the moment just to thank Marshall Yelvington for all this hard work for me in the clerk's department. I got to share in with Marcia Gano, Original Services. When this young man came to our interviews, he said, I want to be an engineer. And I thought, well, I can't do anything in engineering, but I can certainly give him a project. I gave him the project, and he was able to tackle that project and surpass what I thought that he could do at his age. So I definitely feel like he's on the path to become an engineer, and he's going to soar in his dreams. I just know it. Now, guys, he's actually going to present to you here in a few minutes, my city commission. So I'm going to tell him to break a leg and hopefully not make him too nervous.
We have a different way of recognizing our interns in general services. We promptly put them on the agenda and have them present to the commission. We're taking you to lunch tomorrow, but thank you for everything. I don't think you realize how much independence you displayed in the projects that you manage. So heartfelt thank you from all of us, and we enjoyed getting to know you, and we'll look forward to hearing more about you in the future.
If I may, I wish to thank staff for taking on the interns. As you all know, that was near and dear to my heart. The commission at the time awarded me the opportunity to start the internship program. And it's been, I want to say this is probably our 6th or 7th year that we've been able to provide this paid internship. Within this area, college students within our area. And thank you so much to this commission for allowing it to continue. One of the things that I wanted to do is provide opportunities that I did not have when I was at their age. So being able to see this happen and being able to hear all of the greatness that we heard on tonight, it does my heart good. I've had the opportunity to work with some of them. Phenomenal. Mr. Session, he's been a city guru since his time before he was at Jenkins. I called him the future mayor. It does my heart good to finally see him have the opportunity to have his hands in what we do here in the city of Palatka. And thanks to everyone that stands up here. We hope that you do great things as you go forward. And again, you can always come home if you can't go anywhere else.
There's no better program out there, I don't think.
Well, after that, we're going to move on to recognition, life-saving attempts.
we can have Dr. Kennedy, Dr. Miss Kaylee. Miss Kaylee Wallach. We could have Engineer Matthew Pope and Firefighter Joe Taylor. Please come up. So just want to recognize these guys. They did an outstanding job. June 6th, just before 8 o'clock, we had a patient in their office that suffered a cardiac arrest. In the midst of that cardiac arrest, they performed high quality CPR and actually got a return to spontaneous circulation, which means that the patient got pulses back, giving this person an opportunity at life. You know, they did their job, they did it well. Our crews had a response time of just under 4 minutes, which is pretty awesome. And without these guys initiating early CPR and early defibrillation, I don't think they would have had the success they had. So great job, in my opinion.
We want to present these certificates of recognition, Mr. Taylor. Thank you. Ms. Rock. Thank you. Dr. Kennedy. Thank you. And Mr. Pope. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Life, health, and safety is what we're all about. And ISO rating of a 2. Our guys, we really invest in every department, but life, health, and safety is first. And we thank those guys for responding for well under 4 minutes. So every second counts.
Thank you again. In the spotlight, we're going to have employee of the month recognition. Yes.
Thank you again, Madam Mayor and Commissioners. In the spotlight was birthed here at the city a couple of years ago. And we have had the privilege of recognizing some outstanding employees for just doing outstanding jobs in their performances. So we have our employees nominated, the co-workers, supervisors, whomever they see performing exceedingly above the call of duty. And today we do have the privilege and honor to recognize again one of our own from the Palatka Police Department, Officer Christine Larry Grant.
Yes, this was actually a surprise for Ms. Grant. I will say she doesn't really like too much recognition. She's shy in that manner. So in our nomination, hearing her receiving and winning the nomination, we wanted to actually be as calm and quiet as we could about it. We didn't want her to call in sick or did City Hall for any matter. Again, this nomination for Ms. Grant was submitted by Lieutenant Cassidy, and then submitting it to me, I was moving up to, his question to me was, what can we do to acknowledge and recognize this? So I was moved to make sure I submitted it to Ms. Jones as far as employee of the month. It was something that was so moving that it was above and beyond. I'll just read for this. On the call for service, Officer Grant took the initiative to sit and talk to an individual seeking help for substance abuse. The person was wanting to talk to someone and needed assistance with getting in the treatment facility. Unfortunately, there was no services available at the city at that time. Grant did not only that to be the answer, did not want that to be allowed to be the answer,
went the extra mile by staying and talking to this person while she searched for resources outside of the city limits. At first, the person was scared and standoffish. Grant took over an hour, building a rapport that consisted of her buying drinks and snacks out of her own pocket. She stayed an hour after her shift ended. Because of Grant's going above and beyond, this person was checked into rehab at another and had rehab for another chance at life. Again, he was so thankful to us for just having to have someone in his corner who cared enough to give him a chance. She built a good rapport with this individual. She worked out a plan to get this person into the needed substance abuse center that was requested. The compassion show speaks for itself. But the touching part for this incident, she stayed after her shift to take him herself to that facility in Daytona. The complainant was standoffish for law enforcement. He really didn't have a trusting for law enforcement at the time. But through that, thanked the police department for her efforts and developed a different outlook on law enforcement altogether. In Lieutenant Cassidy's words, this is the type of person we want, not only at the Palatka Police Department, but at the city of Palatka. And her efforts, again, I commend, are above and beyond. She took and went the extra mile, and she's been just an outstanding officer for us since she's been here. Officer Larry Grant, thank you.
He didn't even have that.
I know. At this point, we are going to ask the auditors to give us their report.
Good day, Mayor, Commissioner, City Manager, City Attorney, City Clerk, Finance Director. Good day to you all. My name is Roderick Harvey, partner with HCT. HCT is the CPA firm with record for the city of Palatka. Over the next several minutes, we will delve into the audit results for the period ended September 30, 2022. Next slide, please. Again, we are happy to present the audit results. Our engagement letter was dated October 28, 2022, and we are issuing or have issued a clean or unmodified audit opinion on the year ended September 30, 2022, with an audit date of June 28, 2023. Next slide, please. Over the next few minutes, we'll talk about audit results, supplemental slides, and responsibilities. As a part of our engagement, we were engaged to perform the audit in accordance with GAAS, Generally Accepted Auditing Standards. We had no changes to our initial audit risk assessment. In your audit book, which you received, you will see that we performed and presented all of the required auditor's reports. There are no outstanding matters, and significant accounting policies and procedures are described in Note 1. We deem significant accounting estimates as allowance for doubtful accounts, accumulated depreciation, and fair value of investments. Risk, as we deem it, risk of management override, revenue recognition, and cash. And there are new accounting pronouncements, but those pronouncements did not have a significant impact on the city for the year under audit. As it relates to uncorrected misstatements, we have no matters to report. corrected misstatements, various journal entries were noted and made. And as relates to the presentation of disclosure and any omissions, we have no matters to report. Control deficiencies, we will discuss near the end of the time. Related parties, no significant matters to report. And the last column deals with the responsibility if the city was to use our audit report in another financial document, i.e. a bond offering, we would need to be contacted and ensure that the audit report is correct. This deck is the required communications that the AICPA said that we must report to you as those charged with governance. I will just run through several of them. Illegal acts or frauds, no matters noted. Going concern, non-GAAP, subsequent event, no matters noted. Disagreements with management, no matters to report. Written communication, which we performed in the engagement letter and the management representation letter. We are independent of the city of Palatka. Over the next few minutes, we will delve into the financial reporting of the city again for the year ended September 30, 2022. Revenues for the year under review, 34.2 million as compared to the 21 year of 27.2. We selected a sample of significant revenues and tested those revenue streams for existence, accuracy, and presentation of the recorded revenue. As relates to expenses, 32.2 million for the year 2022 as compared to 18 million for 2021. We selected a sample of transactions of expenditures and tested those expenditures for completeness, accuracy, and the presentation of those expenses recorded. Capital assets, again, for the 22 period, 76.7 as compared to 71.7. Long-term debt, 24.3, again, for the 22 year as compared to 26.4 for 2021. We confirmed the long-term debt or the debt balances with third parties. We have a responsibility to audit and to issue an opinion. We have a responsibility to evaluate the internal control environment, although we do not issue an opinion on it. And as our review of the internal control environment, we can look at deficiencies and label those deficiencies. There are two types of deficiencies that we could have: a significant deficiency, which is a deficiency in control that is less severe than a material weakness, yet important enough to be brought to the attention of those charged with governance, i.e. the elected body, or material weaknesses, which are weaknesses that give a reasonable possibility that a material misstatement in the financial statements will not be prevented, detected, or corrected on a timely basis. We have no findings for the 22 year. The findings that I will go through now are roll forward findings from the prior year. Although it's labeled 2022, I want to be very clear about that. So our review of internal controls of a payroll, we noted that there was, and again, this is in the 21 year, some segregation of duties issues. And so we recommended at that time that the city review its existing policies and procedures so that the payroll area could be enhanced. Again, this is another finding, but it relates to the 2021 year, just roll forward. Again, looking at the review of internal controls and employee pay rates and ensuring that those pay rates match the approved pay rate as given. We did note some improvement in that area, although we did not clear the area. As your auditors, we are required, and this is the original writing from 2021, we are required to review prior year findings and update the status of those findings. As relates to responsibility, again, we have a responsibility to audit and to issue an opinion. Management has responsibility for the design, implementation, and the maintenance of the control environment. The commission has the responsibility for the oversight of the financial reporting process and to ensure that the management of programs and control are designed to prevent, detect fraud. We must give certain required communications to the elected body, If there are any, we have met that standard. And so at this time, if the mayor will allow, or if there are any, we will do our very best to entertain any questions that you may have of us.
Anyone have any questions?
Yes, sir, I have some questions, a couple. First one about the material findings. The material findings are significant enough for you to inform us about them, and they should have some controls place. For example, the action plan of, you mentioned the payroll. Could you elaborate a little bit on that, or is that something that you want to talk to? If I have that question, you want to talk to us about?
No, I can elaborate now. I do offer to all of my elected bodies that any of you desire to meet with me one-on-one to discuss matters as it relates to the audit report, we make ourselves available to you. In the answer to your question, we evaluate the controls in place, the things that the policy, the manual said we should do, the city should do. We will, based on our audit, determine if there are any gaps in here's what you should do, here's what you did. And when I say you, I mean the global. And so if the error rate is as such that it requires us to communicate it, we will communicate it in writing. And so we did that in the 2021 year. And so it is our way as the external auditors to report to you as the governing body and to the independent third party if there are any issues. And so at this time, I do want to highlight for the current year, 2022, there are no reportable findings. The 2021 year, we had reportable findings and we followed up on those reportable findings in 22. And we noted some improvement, but the area was not clear. And so we will again come back in the 23 audit review, and hopefully at that time, those findings will be clear.
So to prevent us from carrying forward again, those deficiencies, did you, or what would we find a recommendation of what to do from you guys in this report?
So there is in your audit report book, in your AFR, there is a section called compliance. In the compliance section is where we list our findings. But here for your viewing pleasure, I put up a snippet of what the findings were, which were two, that we noted in, again, the 2021 year that we rolled forward to 2022. Question.
Gotcha. So the recommendation is that we review the policy and procedure to develop new policy and procedure. Ensure.
Commissioner, can I give you an answer of
You
what we're
can.
looking at doing? So these types of findings, usually, you can address them quite quickly with policy changes. This is something that requires us to basically train and put in an approval process to have another person review and approve payroll every time that we run payroll. So Ms. Cardy and I are in discussions and talking about how county resources coordinates with finance on a recurring basis. And we're looking at basically modifying our policy so that there is an additional review process. And we're going to keep working towards that. Hopefully next year, when they come back and they ask how we've been running things and they look into it, hopefully it will clear that finding.
I know you have a question. I think I'll take that one offline.
Understood.
Yeah. Second one.
Yes, sir.
The procurement. Did you have any findings about procurement at all? I didn't see it in here. Of course, you just handed us the book. So to expedite this, do you have any recommendations at this point?
We audit the city entity-wide. We also, just as an aside, we audit the gas authority, we audit the CRA, and we also audit the city. As it relates to specifically procurement, it will be audited in a number of ways. We do not have any findings in the procurement department for our audit year this year. And none last year. If there is something again offline that you would like to discuss as we plan and prep for the upcoming year, which will be soon. The year closes September 30. We are more than happy to adjust our audit procedures to give extra evaluation of the procurement department if you deem it necessary.
All right, I appreciate you, and I would like to have a conversation.
Yes, sir.
No, I think what I'll do for mine, I'll touch base with you offline, that'll be regarding the segregation of duties.
Yes, sir.
And different, and, looking at, timelines in terms of, not waiting till we get to the budget year, end of year to be able to address those things we need to stay, pretty much in communication and making sure that those, material weaknesses are addressed. So, I mean, those are just my concerns, so.
Look forward to your call. We can set up a Zoom or time to talk as convenient for you. No problem.
Does anybody else have a question? Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Mayor, may I make a comment, please?
Yes, you may.
Okay, I would like to, first of all, thank the auditors. They did an extraordinary job with being certain that this year we were not late. Our audit was completed timely. We were able to submit to the state of Florida before the due date. And that took a significant amount of effort, team effort between the auditors and our staff. So I would just simply like to commend a lot of the adjustments that we did find, which were few, but it significantly improved the net position of the city's finances. So I'd like that to be noted as well.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So I believe we need a motion to accept the audit report.
Yes.
To accept the audit as written.
Second. Have a motion and second, all in favor? Aye. Any opposition? Thank you. City manager, administrative report.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I'll keep this brief. You probably are aware of this because it's on all of your agendas. It's also been on the newsletter that's been distributed, but I wanted to bring this up in a public setting. We do have a large number of board vacancies, so we would appreciate you helping us get the word out. There are 2 vacancies on the planning board. That is a larger board, and there is some discussion that may come forward to you at a later date about reducing the size of that board. So I'm just going to go over those vacancies real quick. 2 for the planning board, 1 for the police officers pension board, 1 for the Putnam County Library Board, 1 for the Putnam County Better Place Plan Oversight Committee, and 3 for the Zoning Board of Appeals.
Yes, okay. Good deal. Work on
Okay. Next is a presentation on grant.
I do have-
Sorry.
With regards to the vacancies, is there a place online that one would be able to visit to apply for?
Ms. Grants, can you answer that?
Certainly. Sorry, I'm dragging it to the screen. If you go online to the city's website and there's a couple different places you can go. Under boards and commissions, you can read a little bit about some of our boards, but under the I want to column. And I'm clicking, but sorry, hold on. Refresh.
For the sake
In
of
the
time.
meantime.
Yeah.
There's an
Also, we'll send out a QR code via some different media channels tomorrow.
And that would be my recommendation to work with our PIO to do a campaign for those.
And it's been in the newsletter.
Yeah, we'll keep pushing it. Y'all can help us get the word out. It is much appreciated.
Anybody else on?
And the vacancies are always located on the bottom of our agendas.
And also, if we make a recommendation also, since it's on our agenda, we can have that link there as well for them to
Sure.
reach out to.
So Ms. Moats, if you know anybody, you know everybody, so help us spread the word.
Thank you. Presentation on grant authority.
Good evening, Martha Goodell, Project Manager in General Services. As you're aware, we had a number of improvements that we had going on in Hank Bryan, the sidewalks, we did the playground equipment. And then in an act of what we can only identify as divine intervention, we got contacted, Mayor Coleman and Ms. Carol Kazunas from Florida Health organization had a grant for exercise equipment. So they are purchasing the equipment and then they're asked to partner with us in terms of placement and installation. So we, it's really nice when everything just comes together perfectly at the right time. So I would like to, I don't see Ms. Kazunas here. We invited her to participate if she wanted to, but we're prepared to just go ahead and give you an update in her absence. So I'm going to introduce our General Services intern, Mr. Marshall Youngington, back up to give us an overview, and then we can address any questions or comments.
Thank you to the commission and the mayor for giving us this opportunity to present to you our vision for improving Hank Bryan to make it a center for community gathering and through physical wellness. Our fitness trail consists of 7 different pieces of equipment that exercise each muscle group of the body and is intended for right. The fitness equipment is intended for everyone at ages 13 and up, and as well as wheelchair bound citizens and visitors alike, as well as parents with time constraints. They're as follows. 2 of our pieces of equipment are for wheelchair bound citizens, but can be used by non-wheelchair bound citizens. And our layout for the fitness trail is as follows. Just east of the paved parking lots, along this red arrow, the pieces are focused on the upper body region of the body, while also including our wheelchair accessible pieces. Then just down south of the paved parking area is our lower body area, and then just down the same sidewalk is we have some pieces that are for cardio. So as I mentioned before, our goal is to upgrade the park so that for its intended use, so that people who want to visit Hank Bryan for recreational use have more options rather than just walking if they're too old to use the playground. It's also so we decided to place arrange our pieces of equipment so that each piece is in a natural enclosed setting and is spaced pretty far, a good amount, so that you have a sense of enclosement, privacy, or openness, while also having a good view of the playground, just in case parents need to look at their children who are currently playing in the playground. So in summary, we have partnered with Florida Health and have secured a grant from them, and our costs, which includes purchase and installation, is approximately as shown. Our budget is as shown on the slide, and our estimated project completion timeline is 6 months, which includes turnaround time, shipping, and installation. And cementing will also be secured by the grant, and installation will just be done in-house. From there, I will take any questions that anyone may have.
Well, I'm gonna tell you, Commissioner Jones, he's on the inside.
So you did a mighty fine job, you know that. However, I did notice some of that equipment and exposed concrete. Will there be any kind of barrier between concrete and the individuals that exercise out there? Marcia, are we doing any of that, like soft landing material? will it be included?
So it's in-ground mounting. Right?
Yeah, so we made a field trip out of, you may be aware that there's a similar exercise trail out by the Edgar Senior Center. So we went out there just to look and compare. There are not soft landing requirements for this equipment. So it doesn't, and it's not, we're not gonna have a big cement thing. It'll be in-ground mounted, similar to a fence post. So we've already been through the installation instructions and that's our plan.
Yeah, but we want to consider it, not that it's required. What we want to consider that because I see concrete out there, and anytime someone is out there exercising, may be a fall hazard. I don't know, I'm just asking.
Before, I think what you mean is, what you see, where you see cement, you won't see cement. It's gonna be ground.
Correct.
So, is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Correct.
It's all ground, absolutely.
No, you asked based on right there. There will be no soft. If the ground is hard, they're gonna hit it hard.
So again, the question, where there's cement, there will be.
Ground.
Ground.
Yeah. It's examples of the equipment and installed at another site, but this will be ground versus cement.
The installation requirements only where you can see the pole that is bolted to the cement in this case. It has it'll be almost like a fence post. There'll be cement under the ground and it'll be mounted that way. So we will not have a big concrete pad. That's not what we're proposing.
And what we can do is consider, the amount that we can, get some estimates on mulch. Because some playgrounds have mulch, like that rubber mulch, but then you have to think about, some allergies, because there may be some people that have, allergies to latex, but, different considerations, but you don't have to, it doesn't have to be compliant.
Can we get with, I think what the county would have been one responsible for the one out by Edgar Johnson, correct? Can we get with them to see if they've had any incidents, just to cross reference?
And school risk
And-
management.
Yeah,
Risk management. They've been doing some recent, assessment, lately, and if you can get some data like that from the schools, that would help out. Absolutely. That'll help answer your question, and if you want to get some estimates of the type of grounding that they have for those type areas, would help answer your question for safety purposes.
And it was something that required additional funding, obviously, so that was something else to consider. Definitely want to thank the Florida Department of Health Department for their partnership with us.
Last question. Are there any other parks that they may be interested in? Maybe another one of our parks to put some equipment in? You guys know that, we entertaining that. They have like 9.
Yeah, we had the meeting with Carol. They are interested. They can't commit to any other ones at this time, but they view it as a very, positive partnership opportunity going forward. Their charter is to fight diabetes. And so so she did say that there may be other opportunities in the future.
kind of to piggyback off of that, partnerships are always good, but I think if that's something that we want to take into consideration for other parks, that we possibly can look at funding sources, if we may have any amongst ourselves. It may not be to the full effect, but we need some equipment on various parks we haven't spread throughout the city. And of course, if we're on an act to promote healthy living, the more that we can provide, I think it'll do our citizens great. So I think aside of looking for partnerships, which is our first priority or first method, if there's an opportunity, especially being that we are in the budget season, if there are any opportunities that we can provide some equipment, again, it may not be to the magnitude of what we have that's going into Hank Bryant. I think those are something that we should take in consideration.
If I might, this is Mandy. I'm sorry, I'm remote. This type of equipment would be covered under the FERDAP grant, and that cycle is opening back up again. And as you know, that one's a $50,000 no match for the city. So I can come back to the commission in the August meeting and get direction as to which parks you might want to target for something like this.
Absolutely.
And we also look out, and I think the pilot program also helps with these type of equipment, this type of equipment as well.
Okay. Great job. Thank you.
Thank you.
Make sure whatever you do, also just make sure you factor in, safety as well.
And maintenance costs.
Yes, maintenance and safety.
That's why I chose kind of quality over cost, but.
Quality is always best.
Thank you.
We,
Yes, one person.
thank you.
Thank you.
Any other
You can
reports?
breathe now.
We're going to open up the floor to public comments. The yellow cards are right near the doorway. Please fill one out if you're going to make a public comment and leave 3 minutes. Name and address for the record. Thank you. Opening up to public comments. Is there anybody here for public comments? Seeing none, we'll close public comments. Oh, sorry. They do scold me on that. Come on up. No, it's later on. Okay. That's my first meeting. We are going to move on to the consent agenda. And with that said, are there any items?
I like to pull item O and D for.
Okay, always do.
O and D.
Mr. Jones?
I would like to pull item D, just for.
D.
D as in
No.
Delta.
No, okay.
Okay.
That's it.
Motion to consent item, consent agenda items A through Z with the exception of D, O, and C. And AA. Okay, I thought that. And AA.
Second.
We have a motion and a second, all in favor? Aye. Any opposition?
Me too.
Okay. D.
Thank you, Thank you, Madam. Resolution number 2023 R150, a resolution of the city of Palatka authorizing the execution of a grant agreement with the United States Department of Transportation for the Safe Streets for All SS4A grant program and an amount of $960,000 with a city match of $241,337.45 for a safety action plan and providing for scrivener's errors.
So. I think we opened that for the question.
Right.
Who's administrator?
So your general services department will be administering this grant, commissioners and mayor. This is exactly what it says. It is a grant that focuses on pulling together a lot of different groups and agencies to develop an action plan for safe streets for all. So in simple terms, what this will accomplish is it's going to give us a, no pun intended, but a roadmap of projects and prioritized list of projects of how to address ADA issues with our street crossings, any conflicts that we have between motorists, pedestrians, and bicyclists. So we will end up soliciting a consultant that will come in and work with the community, the commission, a committee, and different agencies that have input, including the police department, the SO, Florida Department of Transportation. And it's quite possible that this list will include City of Palatka projects, Putnam County projects, and Florida Department of Transportation projects. Mandy identified this opportunity about a year ago. And with everything that we had in the hopper, in excess of about 15 million that's going towards your roads over the next 2 years, we saw this as a great opportunity to develop a more comprehensive plan citywide.
Thank you, and it is exciting, and again, kudos to Mandy for accomplishing this. It's so big, this is significant.
So, I'll give kudos to their expert.
I'm talking about the development. dollar match.
So we do have a match on this, at $241,377.45. This will be split over multiple fiscal years, and I'm proposing that it come to a better place. Since this project will result in plans for actual projects that you want to see.
So the young lady that comes in and complain about the truck traffic on 9th Street. Will this take care of her issue, not take care of it, but at least give us, address that issue where we're gonna have facts to say this is needed, or this is why we're not doing it?
That is a great example of something that could be addressed, with this program. Yes, sir.
I definitely would like to see it, and I wanted to have that definitive answer so that we can all address her,
Yeah.
because she hasn't been addressing this.
And she is not the only one. That's
Right.
the other two.
Yeah, but
But
she makes it known.
Yeah.
Great.
Anybody else?
That's only one. I feel it.
Okay. So we have a motion and a second. All in favor? Aye. Any opposition? Okay, thank you. Moving on to O.
That was, resolution 2023 R-161. A resolution of the city of Palatka, Florida, granting a special events permit to revitalize historic Palatka for the 75th Azalea Festival, setting forth the provisions of the permit, allowing the closure of certain streets to vehicular traffic during the festival events, allowing for alcohol sales and consumption in designated areas, granting permission and setting advance permit and other fees, and providing for scrivener's errors.
Second.
Okay, this event is coming from Miss Kathleen Griff. It was, used to be a Sam Guthrie event, but she took over the, being as the coordinator for this event. We had a special event meeting, team meeting, to discuss this. She asked for road closure, which Captain Williams provided some of the staff who needed four. Public Works provided some, sanitation stuff, trash cans, and also barriers to close the road. They wanted 6 and 1 and 4 in the evening time. So it's been vetted through the special event team and speaking to y'all approve.
So who, oh, sorry, that's more, but
No.
Commissioner Jones.
so who puts the cost on this? City?
No, this is
And pay for
the revitalized historical.
And we do have a public comment. Does anybody else have any further questions, Mr. Cutler? Okay, Ms. Kitchens?
I live with Kitchens, 27 South Phillips Street, Palatka, Florida. My only comment is to advise the commission that on pages 1 and 2 of the application, which is pages 311 and 312 of your agenda, that Mr. Hafner's name is spelled incorrectly. He's the secondary contact, and they show him as Jerry Hefner, Hefner, and it's spelled incorrectly. It's Hafner. Just want to advise you of that correction on the application that needs to be made. Thank you.
Who filled out the application?
Kathy Griffin.
Okay.
Thank you. Okay, the motion is second, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? Thank you. Now we'll move on to the meeting.
Thank you. D is resolution number 2023 R-181. A resolution of the city of Palatka authorizing the mayor and the city clerk to execute and attest the lease agreement with the Putnam County School Board for use of recreation space and providing for scrivener's errors.
so
Second.
Discussion, Mr. Cartwright.
Okay, so this has been a conversation that I had with the school board and, also the commissioner with it. The Jenkins facility, we, as you know, we have the gym itself, but the field behind it still belongs to the school board. And so that kind of hinders the running program back there. So we had had several conversations with Mr. Palmer Bolin and then also Mr. Surgency. And I had a couple commissioners kind of help me spearhead this. And we came up with this MOU trying to help us with this opportunity to utilize the field to expand our programs. And right now we have a courtesy handshake agreement right now until this goes through. Are we using it for soccer back there right now?
Would it be you have any questions, Mr. Cutler? We do have a public comment, Ms. Kitchens.
Illegal kitchen, 1027 South 12th Street, Palatka, Florida. Under the agreement on items 4, 6, and 10, it points to maintenance and landscaping, mowing, and it also points that the city will pay the liability insurance. Those are monetary benefits to the school board, and I would reference our city attorney, Ms. Thomas's comments earlier in late last year that the 3 members of the commission that belong to, that are paid by the school administration district are not allowed to vote on any issue related to the school board or the school administration. I find this troubling, but I understand because it is a conflict of interest, I believe. And I think it's a good thing for the soccer field, but the 3 that are employed by the school district, I believe it's a conflict of interest. And going back to when the Elks Club under the CRA wanted to get a grant, Mayor Myers and Phil Leary were members of the Elks Club. It's nonprofit. They did not get any benefit from it, but then City Attorney Don Holmes said they needed to recuse themselves to avoid the appearance of wrongdoing. At a later date, I was talking to the attorney for the Ethics Commission in Tallahassee on a totally different, not related issue. And I mentioned to her what Mr. Holmes had said, and she said, you have a very wise city attorney because they should recuse themselves because they, even though they're not drawing any benefit. But unfortunately, we have 3 commission members that get paid by the school board, and this does give a monetary benefit to the school board by relieving them of having to pay the liability insurance. And I just want to bring that up. If the city attorney thinks it's okay, of course, I'll abide by her opinion. I just want to bring that up because I think it's a very important issue. And she addressed it, I think, late last fall. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Kitchens. Ms. Thomas?
Yeah, of course, I always appreciate Ms. Kitchen's comments and questions. In this case, there is no benefit at all. The school board is allowing the city to use those fields free of charge. Of course, we have liability and that we would pay for that for any programs that we have that are conducted on those fields. So I do not see.
Thank you. Have a question? There's a motion and second, all in favor? Aye. Any opposition? Thank you. We're going to go to A.
AA or B? I thought, forgive me, clarification on the original motion. I thought item C was pulled, not AA.
That would be, no.
Okay. I'm sorry.
Yeah, so item Z is resolution that one, sorry.
Oh, right. That would be.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's
So we're, that's it.
Did we read item seven?
Okay, on to regular.
Did we? Sorry, I'm just reviewing real quick. I don't want to miss anything. Good.
Thank you. No one. On to regular business. Request the city commission special events fund. Mr. Bishop?
Yes, thank you, Madam Mayor. So a couple commissioners recently approached me about utilizing these commissioner special event lines. They asked me to place these items on the agenda for consideration, which is the process. You'll notice under item 7 that we did include the policy for considering these requests. So we've just listed them in no particular order, but the first one is a movie night that was requested by Commissioner Campbell. I will say that tonight is probably, you can't talk about the details of the event to understand the nature of it, but none of these have been submitted for a special event. We have not had any staff meetings to talk about cost or how we would manage the event. We wanted to get your approval before taking that next step. So with that said, I'll just turn it over to each respective commissioner to present their suggested event to the rest of the commission.
Has been something that it was generally started as a partnership with the Palatka cinemas. It was a thing to keep it local. I started a couple years ago where we would basically book out the movie. If you could remember, we were actually supposed to have a movie night, but due to COVID, we were not able to go through with it. I've been approached by several citizens with regards to, because that was something that they look forward to over the summer, is the movie night. To see if we can bring it back for consideration. This will be an event that we have at the riverfront. I do believe we have all of the equipment based on what we previously purchased as a result of the cancellation of the previous. Again, I just wanted, this is a community event. It's for everyone, young, old, from the youngest citizen to the eldest citizen. We will not turn anyone away. And we're looking at just having fun, food and fellowship, and a movie on the St. John.
And I think I'm sorry, I think when it first started out, it was some of the first time that some kids ever experienced, had a movie experience. The parents came, some of the first time parents ever experienced it. And I think you did it out of your pocket. The first time you ever did it. And ever since you did it, folks have been looking forward to it. So I'm looking forward to you bringing it back in October.
Thank you. Commissioner Castle? Yeah, Castle. Would you want us to make some calls?
You know, I fully supported, the union. I don't know if they had time to, I know you have to submit it 30 days prior, but, given that they've had the event before, it's gonna take action on the commission to be able to approve that, and so I certainly, will waive that 30-day application submittal, if they can get everything in place so that it can.
When we actually,
I didn't want to we didn't put a date to it. I didn't want to rush the process. So if we had to go through the process, we would have adhered to it. It's just something that, as long as we do it before it gets cold, I'm open to doing it. It was something generally that happened over the summer, but in the event that we can't make it happen, that is cool. We can push it in September, October. I just want to make it happen.
In the time frame that this money is supposed to be spent.
Yes.
So it gotta be
By
before
September
September.
The money can be, well, I'll get with staff. Well,
I wanna know, so I would have to take my.
Commissioner Jones, so you have $4,000 per commissioner set aside. I think the main item that we need is if the commission is in support of it, we need a vote that you're in support of it. During the budget process, and I think Commissioner Campbell, you will have an opportunity by then to talk to staff to see if it's going to hit within this fiscal year. And if it doesn't, then we can bring that to you in the budget workshop. You guys can debate carrying forward or just using next year's allocation to be sufficient.
Staff helped with the last setup, so it's pretty much everything that was in motion, just putting back in motion. So staff is fully aware. Erin, she's the event guru, so she's fully vetted the process and knows what it requires. Because even though we go through the process, I do believe there's a license that we would have to get, and so we don't know how long that process will take. So once we get that information, then we can split it out. Last time I think it was relatively quick. But again, I'll work with staff to make sure that the time restraints is something that won't put them at a hindrance.
So to be clear, we will not carry forward any expenditures or any revenues for this event program for any commissioner unless you direct us to. So right now, we're not showing a carrying forward, we're just showing an increase of 5,000 for next year.
Yeah, but I think we need to clarify that
Well,
now.
one of my events, I'm gonna have to ask for a waiver when it gets to mine, because we'll talk about mine.
And so I guess my original intent was wanting to collaborate with the Food Truck Fridays. Since that would already be a draw for people to come down on St. John's, and they were switching to the evening time anyway, that you have that opportunity. So that was my original intent, is to have it in conjunction with Food Truck Fridays.
I'll tell you why I asked that question. Because I mean, if we decide to roll it over, which hadn't been rolled over before, I'm fine with either way. But I noticed in the last 2 years, I never used the money. And this year I plan on using it But I don't have to use it for an event for me. I will use it for your event, spread out. I will give you 1,000, 1,000, 1,000, what?
In conjunction. Yeah.
Right, so I'm contributing, but I'm not doing the event for myself. I don't want the money to roll back when they actually could use it. They already have plans. So I'm saying, if finance say we need to use it by September 30th, can you do that? Right, so, does that make sense, what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
It would be preferable.
Right.
Wow.
So,
We find it strapped when you're trying to put on an event, or what have you, so absolutely.
and so, I'm in support of your program, all of them. And if anything in the community, I think Keisha has the backpack giveaway. So, the funds that this commissioner have, I was spread it to
Well, then I
everyone
think,
else.
given that there are only two commissioners that have, at this point, put something out there, the three of us are not spending our money, so I think we're all looking for the money, because unless you have something in mind.
The funds have to be spent. You have to, put your event in prior to anything you spent before. That's my understanding. Now, if you don't have a major event that requires, police, fire, whatever, all these different services, then you have to file the application. That application has to be, in and reviewed in bed. So not everybody's gonna be doing it. I was doing something a little bit different. I pulled my event, but again, either way, I'm gonna contribute. I'm gonna spend those funds, whether it's contributing to the other commissioners or what have you, but I didn't bring my one event forward because there are some things that came up.
Okay, so with that said, it sounds like, do you want to go over each, present the events, Commissioner Castle and others, or do we want?
Just real quick, make sure I'm hearing you right, and it would help us. If there are commissioners that want to redistribute, or use our terminology, do a budget transfer,
Right.
their 4,000 between the other commissioners that do have events, we would request that in the form of a motion right now. Each commissioner separately, so we can track it and we can do that for you.
We're in July. We're in July right now, so we still have a couple of months at least before.
But I wanted to afford you the opportunity because it's
Right.
simple. You can direct us tomorrow to do a budget transfer.
So before you do that, can we just, at this point, say, we can do that and make a motion to change the policy that we don't have to use it.
But you
We
have to
can.
change the policy before you are able to, and I'm asking, right, was that recommend a policy change versus?
So what it
What is the
really,
amount?
yeah, well, what it really is not putting a particular staff person in a position to make a budget transfer on commissioner line items. So I'm just asking, out of respect for myself, Ms. Cardy, any other staff member that authorizes budget transfers, if you want to move your money to the other commissioners, just tell us and take a vote.
But and maybe.
You don't have to do it now. but
No,
in the
I
future,
just
yeah.
want clarity. I thought we put that money into a budget, even though it was one lump sum. I thought it was one lump sum and we had to get approval. We knew that it was 5,000, but it was in a budget, a pool that we just had to bring it to get the authority of the commission. So it should have been one line item with.
No,
It's a new line.
No, it's actually-
It's
right,
Your line, my line, each of us.
So
Right.
again, that was the understanding that we thought, because again, that's why we said, put it in,
first.
maybe I was confused at that
So
time.
Commissioner, for clarity purposes, the budget states an exact amount per commissioner. And each commissioner has their line item, so generally it's 4,000 per commissioner. I think it's a different amount for the mayor.
We 5,000.
It was 5,000, but we're talking about this fiscal year. This fiscal year, it's 4,000.
We didn't change it. We didn't change that. Though.
I'm just telling you what the budget says.
I know, but we set the budget.
So last year, the budget, I think it's in September, the end of September, you set it last year at 5.
We set it for 5, but we did not reduce it.
I was in-
We said it
Okay,
was 5, and we did not reduce.
so
It was
Policy.
I'll let you take it.
This is kind of like when we went over the Hank Bryan restrooms. I mean, I could go back and I could watch video, but if it's the will of the commission to have 5,000 each
We
line,
can do
just tell us to do it. If I can have it.
That's what it is.
I don't want to go back and rehab that. If you guys really want 5 in that line, it's easy to accomplish. Just tell us to do it.
Well, just, let's look at what the line was last year.
It was 5 last
It was 5 last year, so we did not reduce it, so it needs
Looking at it
to
right.
remain,
Okay,
the same unless we say we want less. Or
yeah.
we want more.
So the reality is the adopted budget that I actually saw when it came on board. I was able to go back and see that not this year, but the year before, it was 5,000. And then for this year, it showed 4,000. But as the city manager has pointed out, if it is your desire that it should have been 5,000, and for whatever reason, it's stated as 4, we can deal with that.
I'm just gonna speak for myself, I wanna keep my line 5,000, I think they're gonna make sure 5,000.
Right, yes, sir. So now the city manager would like you to give us guidance. And I got my part, I heard it.
With all that, do we want to make a motion?
I'll make a motion that we have the line item for each commission set to $5,000, as well as if the commissioner wishes to have their money redistributed to support an event of another commissioner, that they also have the liberty to.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
We have a motion and a second, who was the second? I'm sorry. The motion.
Commissioner.
Okay. So we have all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? Okay.
So you could just take each proposal and put it to a vote, so that each commissioner would have certainty and could meet with staff to start planning their events.
Okay, moving on. Motion to vote.
I'll make a motion to approve the Hoop Unite event.
Second. Don't second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, so then, all those.
Any opposed?
Any opposition?
Any opposition, we need to say that.
Okay, it's unanimous. Thank you.
The second item, and I believe we have some individuals in the audience who'd like to speak to this request, is a backpack giveaway.
We do that, and item I put on the next for the feature session, that, they've been doing this for several years. If you want to come speak on it, Mr. Keisha, please. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Alicia Session. I reside at 7300 Russell Street, apartment 216, Palatka, Florida. Well, I don't know what to say because last year the process wasn't this way. So what we're asking for as part of our ask is for the city to allow us to use the Price Martin at no cost. That's part of our ask for our backpack thing.
Usually what they would do, her and her cousin developed a partnership where they would go in different parts of the community. Usually they would find areas that they would just set up and give out backpacks in the community. They'll get the word out via Facebook, however, word of mouth. Patrons in the community would find out and they would show up and they would just give out and set up and give out until they run out. And that, you know, in the rain, hot, it didn't matter. So they want to use one of our buildings and they're asking for that and a certain amount of money.
Well, no, what, I mean, previously we paid for it. We used Booker Park and we paid.
That was
and that took-
recently.
No, I'm saying that, and that took out our funds. So then when you guys came up with, you have money that you'd like to partner, I mean, we'd like to save.
Yeah, but before, they would set up in the community in different places.
I mean, but we had permission, like we did Trail Park and
Yeah.
we've done a couple schools
Yeah.
just to move it around the city of Palatka.
Yeah.
And I can honestly say that the support that they get from the community as far as what they give to the community benefits people from all walks of life. And that's just one event that they do for you. They feed in November, Thanksgiving, and they do several things.
Trunk or treat, I can think of a number of things that they can do to help give back to the community, so,
So we have an event every month, fourth quarter.
So, and I want to talk about that. I know on this right here, she's coming from Backpacks for Fun, and I know that Full of Fun, we said that entities can only come once a year. But speaking on that, they feed the community for Thanksgiving. They do trunk or treat. They do so much for the community. And I know that we created the policy, but having them to feel able to only come once a year. I don't know if you all want to think about asking for a certain amount for your organization and spread it out for your various events you do. And we think about how that can help, but they do a lot.
Now, I know we had conversation like that, when we were initially, so I would like to resort back to either the city manager or legal regarding that, because I think we had some in-depth conversation regarding,
Why we went to the policy of coming only once
and being mindful of allocating monies to organizations. I'm for it, don't get me wrong, but I don't want us to renege on what we've set in place. So I would like to address this matter, and then have that as a conversation, because again, we know what they do. And I don't want this to be jeopardized.
Yeah, stay focused on.
or making sure they, and I want to bring it up, saying that so that they can be mindful, so that if the conversation does come up, if entities do different various events, selecting the one that they want to come forth and ask for. Okay.
So,
Ask for money.
so I think the ask is we wanted to get, price mark.
Yes.
So that's the ask to partner with the city to get price mark and, any available funds to help assist with the, backpack giveaway.
Yeah.
So, I like to make a motion.
Take care of people, what is
Well, sorry.
it? More than.
Okay.
Thank you.
Be mindful of this. It already said that they partner with the city of Palatka. And if somebody's over that department, so if the partner, he could actually say, well, we could have it at Price Barn and kind of like bypass what we're about to do.
I think
that make
She's asking for money.
You pay the cost of,
What?
what's not.
No,
Just money for the.
I heard her mouth, she wanted to do it.
So from my understanding, the policy changed from me just being able to ask Mr. Cartwright out, right, for the facility. So that, from my understanding, the policy changed in there. Because that fee of $500, that the whole diet, commissioners had to agree on that. To waive that.
So if you partner, if you were doing a backpack giveaway, you're gonna charge the city, let's go right, we're gonna charge ourselves? It doesn't make sense to me. So it makes sense if you partner, like it says on here.
No, so where that came at, we had, so last year, we had several organizations who wanted to utilize the facilities and do things for the events. City manager at that time, Don Holmes, and myself, talked about trying to make sure y'all are aware of it and y'all approved it. So we asked these event holders or coordinators to come in here and ask y'all for the utilize of the building. So it was y'all approved it, then it becomes a city shared event, and then, we will not charge it. But if y'all don't approve it, then we would charge it the normal price that it comes with, whatever.
Well, I propose, and this is not still on anyone's stomach. But if we partner with organizations like this, I know others are coming as well. As we partner, that means we all bought in and we don't have to give individual funds. So I think that is worth doing and engaging in a partnership with this organization who's giving out backpack for the entire community. Just like we're bound, if we're gonna do an event as a commission, the entire community is welcome and they all benefit. Does that make sense or no?
Yes, but I think it can get complicated. I think it can get complicated because a lot of people can approach, him as a, nonprofit organization that want to partner with the city. So then not only that, but then the thing with that is what that organization is gonna do when they do, obtain the park or the structure, the building or whatever, what are they gonna do? So in this way, they're not gonna be out there selling, selling things or whatever. So we need to be clear that there's nobody that's gonna be trying to rent the facility. So we are overriding that somebody could rent the facility by saying, okay, we partner with her or her organization. And we approve that and we know it versus somebody saying, oh, I didn't have an opportunity to get it. So it's just clear, it's a clearinghouse.
Okay, well, I'll step back and go ahead and wait. I just put my thought.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think at some point we should leave it to the discretion of our department head and the city manager, to address certain things like this.
Yes, I mean,
Because again, I think there's two asks here.
right.
And I think the building portion of the ask could be handled by Mr. Cutright and his team. I think the funding component, because there are other organizations that utilize facilities, and it's at the discretion of Mr. Cutright, if it's available, that they have the ability to go in as a partnership. So I think that is more of a day-to-day operation type thing, and not so much anything that I trust staff with that. But when it comes down to a commissioner wanting to fund, I think that's when we actually come to this. Because again, I've seen where he's partnered with Zeta Phi Beta, I've seen where he's partnered with African American Cultural Arts, I've seen where, and that was a decision that they made. As far as in-house, and I think we should give them that liberty, but again, when it comes down to the funding component, that needs to come forward.
Well, I'll say this last part, well, it is funded because the building costs,
But if the building is it's not being utilized,
then it still costs because it's not gonna be utilized until someone reserve it to use it. And I say we either could go by the policy that we have, or we create a new policy. But if the policy already said that, I think we agree on the policy.
I think the policy, even when we created the policy, I was against the policy, because again, I think there should be certain discretion that we allow our staff to have. Again, we can maybe talking about tomatoes and tomatoes, but again, I do believe that there should be some leniency. If our department head say, I think this is a wonderful event, why would we jeopardize the integrity of this organization? When I say this organization, the city of Palatka, to make someone who's trying to do something for the community have to jump through a million hoops when they don't have to, because our department head who oversees facilities has the authority to say, I think this is a wonderful opportunity for us to partner. I can guarantee you that we can partner with you as long as our name is on it. However, if it comes down to a funding request outside of, that's where the conversation, it comes to us. He does it all the time, and I don't think this is any different.
No, I agree with you, although I think that we have to decide on this particular thing that's before us. I think we have to, if the policy was
The
that
policy needs to be revisited.
That's what I'm saying.
Anyway. It should have been revisited when we first did it.
right now, we need to make a decision about this request, but I think we may need to review the policy. I don't think we should micromanage people that we hire that are still doing the job.
Well, we created a policy, it's not.
Right, we said we'll address that policy again, but right now, that's not where we're
Well, okay,
at.
while we're here, let me just say this one thing. While we're speaking on this, and I understand that you want to give autonomy or whatever as it relates to your decision rights, but at the same time, when you begin to have a lot of people who are partnering, you got a lot of partners come on board, then it's going to get into a point to where some partners might not be able to access the facilities. Some people who use these facilities are now not able to get into it now because of, so we need to really, I think we need to take a step back and look at the policy and see how we can better serve the needs of the community. So I think, we can go all day, but I just want to move forward, trying to
I think that's what we're.
address what we got here, but we need to look at the policy to make it.
That's what I agree on that.
For this event, I want to ask for a motion, if we can, allow her to partner with community affairs for use of the facility, and a motion for the amount of money that you're asking to fund the event, which would be $500. Yes.
I'll hear what. Yes.
Excuse me, did I hear something?
I was.
Did I hear a comment?
Is somebody else making a comment? Okay.
I was given 500 from 500 out of my account as well, so would that be?
1,000.
From my
500
account
from McCaskill's account.
to that call.
Okay.
And I also did $100. So,
I don't know how much you actually need. 500 was kind of. You were hoping for 500, but could use more. I mean, I think that's what my clarification.
I really working, and I'll be completely honest. I've seen a million backpack giveaways happen around the city of Palatka. I happen to take part in quite a few, and it never, ever is enough when it comes down to making sure that our youth. And then also, if there's anything left over, that these individuals make a generous contribution to specific schools within this community. So the more we put into this, the more our community benefits from this. I see it all too often that our kids, our youth are going to schools and not with the basic necessities to be able to, I'm talking pencil, I'm talking paper, I'm talking about scissors. And you think that that would not be a thing with everything that goes around, all of that drives, but I promise you, it is not enough. How with the backpack drive? I've seen easy 700 youth come through there, and it's still not enough. Backpack full of fun. I've seen hundreds of students, and it's still not enough. I've seen the radio station, I've seen churches, and it's still
The backpacks
not enough.
throughout the
These
year.
things, we have these students who benefit not only in the city, but in our county. The more money that is put into putting these kids at an advantage of one that is getting the necessary supplies.
Let's do it.
So if she asks for 500 and we can do more, let's do more, because the more that we do, it does more for our youth in this community.
I think we're all in favor of that. I was just trying to ask this question, if she could kind of give us, not the least she wants, but the most she needs.
She told us what she needed, and if we felt that she.
So I'm gonna just have to feel, go big.
Here's what I see as well, and again, I've worked with a number of different backpack organizations with school, with kids going back to school. And every time I've worked with one, we've given them all of them out, and those people still coming. So again, there's never, ever enough. And we don't, it's not an advantage. It's basically, it's a basic necessity, and they gotta have these things. So, but that along with any other supplies that they can get, we need to get.
Or if we can't give them money, let's buy supplies and give it to them.
Well, I think, again, I was just asking for her to give us a real dream, like beyond 500.
Well, we can just.
Now we take 500 and that's the easy to sell. That's fine.
Keep on.
500
Well, can you do that?
Can I say this? And I'll be, we're putting her in a position that she did not ask to be in.
She didn't have.
She had, I'm speaking.
No,
No, and it's not directed to you.
Oh, no.
So I want this, no, it's not, it's directed to, I want it to be unequivocally clear that we're putting her in a position that she did not ask to be put in. She asked us for a need. We decided that her request, we could do more, and that's what we're doing.
Yes.
So to put her in a position to say, what is it that you want? That's not fair, because she asked us for what she wanted. Then Commissioner Moore said, okay, I want to give more. Then I said, I want to give more. So don't put her in a position to make her have to give a number when we are the ones who decided to give towards that event.
You're fine. Yeah, we're gonna sit down. Commissioner. So with that,
Run.
I think 500.
Five.
5 concessions, you gotta spend it 5.
5
Spend the money, so why not?
I think everybody's saying 5.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Fine.
Thank
Stand
you.
in purpose.
And the building, and the way the fees on the building.
We have a motion. Have a second.
Just for clarification, sorry, turning my clarification, I think, Commissioner Campbell, you said something about if there anything left over, you want to donate it to a school.
If there's anything, I know that they do.
They do it. They do it all the time.
They do.
I would make the recommendation along with the motion that if we allow the money to be expended, that any leftover material be donated to a school or very.
She's very school, she does, she does it.
Second, I second that motion.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? Thank you.
Eddie Cutler was about to say something. Cut him off.
I just want to add, just make sure, I know she asked for the price one center. I'm not 100% if the dates are there. She might have talked to Courtney already, but if the date is not there for the price one, we will provide her with a facility to use. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, and the next one is for a Palatka community cookout. I have an individual in the room, it's Lisa, if she can come up to the podium. The idea for this, we've been having various events, negative events that have been taking place in the community. And it's something that I wanted to do to kind of bring the community together. And I met Miss Lisa Miller and I spoke with her about a vision that I had. And and it's just something where I wanted to have an event in a centrally located, in a location in the community. In a central location in the community so that everyone can come out, meet, and just socialize, network, have fun, and give out some things to some families. At first I was thinking some food supplies, and she said, those are some things that we always do. I have some other ideas. We met a couple of times and I said, share. So I asked her to come in and share. So she's going to share our vision and we'll go from there.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Lisa Miller, and as Tammy has said, we're looking to do a community cookout to involve everyone. You can come out, we want to take it back to the old days where we can have people come out and do the cakewalk, the sack race, a cook-off, just where everybody can get in the community, come out and eat. And we're talking real food where no one have to pay for anything. The kids can go up and get ices, ice cream, sodas, where they don't have to pay for a dime. And even where parents can come and get an enjoyable meal, not just something handed to them just because it's free, something that they really can enjoy and say, my community gave this back to me. In addition to that, we want to give at least 100 kids socks, underwear, and t-shirts. Every child that I know of going to school, we always got that every school year. Some kids can't get that, so we want to give that back to the kids. And that's basically it, just make it a community cookout and give back to the kids just the bare necessity with their undergarments. And that's it.
Okay, and we've been talking with several folks, kind of talking, word kind of got out. I've had several individuals to approach me that want to come out during the event to give out gift cards. Several folks who have businesses to give out snow cones, cotton candy, in any way possible that they can donate. That's what they would like to do. And I just said, go through her. However, this has to come before the commission. We need to know the direction we can go in and get some advice from legal, but it has to be open to everyone in the community. But it has to be a free event to the community if it's passed and okayed. I do not want to close down any streets. We want to make sure that everyone has easy access to it so that they can come. We are concerned about safety, hoping that everyone, if this is approved, that everyone has access to it. We're talking Sailor and Pine Street out in the Lemon Heights area. We did poll some citizens in the community to ask where a good location would be, and that was the most common location. We went up in that area and it's parked there, so we just presenting this to everyone and we want some input and then to see if this can be approved and we'll share that amount to what it has to be.
I think the amount is the first thing that we should know. And it's nothing negative, I think,
And I'm glad you asked.
because from what I'm hearing,
It's going
it's
to be
gonna
priced.
cost. Yeah.
Right, okay. It will be the remainder of the funds that was left in my commissioner's account,
Right,
which I spoke with
you did,
Cardi.
yeah.
What was the balance?
I'm-
Excluding, okay, so if you can look at
I
what I
will,
had
I'll do it
prior
again.
to the 500, if you can look at it now.
Right.
Mine,
Mhm.
because you should be able to put up my balance now, minus the 500 that we just gave to her,
Yeah,
and then the remainder for this event.
yes, I understand you fully.
Okay,
Mhm.
so we can get that now so that everyone can hear what we can actually thank you.
Really, I think that is. Thank you too.
I think it's an amazing idea, but again, I'm more concerned about the safety. And I think even with that, I'm not sure if it's going to go through the special event process that calls for police. Yes.
Yes.
I want to make sure that the safety component of that is, that's my overall concern, making sure that safety. And I know with the amount that they have remaining, I don't want that to be jeopardized and take away from the, and again, it may be an opportunity for us as a commission to support and provide. But again, I want to make sure that funding as far as services, because it's not only police, we want to make sure that there's a plethora of things that are taken into consideration when we're doing the event, especially of what it can be of that magnitude.
So I want to say this, we approved a party that was a community event for Hush Boy. And it was a huge event when we closed down 20th Street and I think 21st. It was a large community event. It was a party. It was well attended. And I went and attended the event for about 2 hours. We did not have police present and it was very nice and it was safe. It was a beautiful event. And
I'm like Commissioner Jones on this, and I just wanted to be for the record.
yeah. Yeah, and you know, and it's quiet, and after that, after the community came out, and it was such a positive event, well attended. I stayed 2 hours, and I'm telling you, the community, it was just a joy and a nice event. And that's something that I want to continue, and like I said, we had no police present, and everyone had a beautiful time. We really did. So if we can consider this event, I would really appreciate it. And I think if all of us support this event as elected officials and we have some presence, you know, there, this may be just as well as a good event, well-attended event, safe event as Hush Boys Party was.
Commission.
I think, you know, it's an excellent idea. But with anything, we want to make sure that we do have, some level of maybe law enforcement and, EMS. Because in the event that something does happen, I can refer to event down in, it was whatever, but long story short, they used to normally have it and there was no, and it attracts a large crowd, but, they said that the president didn't have the presence of, police or fire and something happened and there was no EMS or whoever on site. So, my main concern is health and safety.
Yes, sir.
And, whatever we can do to support that.
Thank you.
Chief Shaw has been waiting.
Chief.
Go ahead.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you very much. 2 points I wanted to point out. The size of this event and everything that's been discussed already here puts it towards us on a special event level. So it would be vetted just like the other events vetted, and we would look at all of the different areas that would be required for the special events. No matter what entity, whether it be the police department, Parks and Recs, or Public Works. But I did want to add on another note that with an event like this, I think, and I don't want to speak ahead for Lolita and Captain Williams, but I do believe that this is an event that Powell want to be part of, to be able to provide any resources that we can provide. And I think it's just an opportunity to be in the community and give to the community as part of a community event. So on top of that, then there's things that within the police department and our community engagement that we've been trying to do. And with the immense heat, we've missed some events, and we'd love to be able to tie those in for that event as well. But again, I go back to, we would definitely look at vetting it through the special events and going from there.
And as it relates to the dollar amount that's remaining, the amount is $3,322.36. So if we decrease it by the 500, it leaves a balance of $2,800.
And I'll slide 500 out of my account.
Okay.
I still got quite a bit left.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can put this up.
If I can get my number,
Give me a second.
if I can get my number, I'll get the information. I would like to contribute to it, but as far as the amount, because I'm not sure what my event will cost, but I if approved, will I have the opportunity to go back and the amount that I can give, or would I have to give that amount back?
I guess the manager didn't hear you.
Oh, he's doing bad. I'm showing 3,638 left for commission family.
Okay, let's, Campbell,
Yes.
we have 2,600.
Do I have to give my house?
We have 2638.
So remember they said they want 5,000,
5,000.
not 4,000.
Oh, yes, that's right. We had that one.
So I think,
Okay, so correct.
do we have to make an amount commitment today?
But not really.
Some special events. We don't know what's possible.
Exactly.
But if you can give me a correct quote.
So now,
5,000.
right, by adding that 1,000 in, now your number goes up to 3,822. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
I will make the effort to make to the accessible internet. But as a way.
Wow.
I'll make a commitment to donate as well, but I know how much I have left, because I've been already with 500 I committed to just a while ago. But I, again, don't know how much you will need, because the permitting process, the cost may be more than you realize.
Well, thank you. I appreciate
So
it.
I will withhold my amount until the year.
I'm lost, I'm at a loss for words, you know. I mean, it, you know.
I want to contribute to
I think this is a good event.
and Commissioner, guys, who've been working diligently in the community, and I'm gonna put something towards you as well.
Yeah.
We're paying attention.
And I think this is something that is much needed within our community. And I will issue a challenge to not only everyone that sits in this room, but everyone that possibly will go back and listen to this, or you come in contact with somebody to have a vested interest or take part in this event, because so much loss has happened within our community in the last couple of months, and it crosses racial boundaries, it crosses financial, economic division, and all of those kind of things. So I think in hopes of us trying to bring unity in our community, that we have a buy-in, not only from this commission, but the citizens of this great city and business owners of this great city. To say, hey, we want unity in our community, and a part of being unified is having strength in numbers.
Wow, I'm agreeing with Kimball and McCaskill today. Listen, and going forward, I hope you're missing the word unity. And I think what we see here being displayed is, you said it, the entire community. Now, what would happen if we were to pull all of our commissioner funds together for our community, do something grand on the riverfront and just have a unity day?
Oh, my God.
That is something I figured we should do. Maybe that's with the next batch of money, but we will be all giving back to the community and actually setting the tone, saying we can unify together.
Yeah.
The balance that we had, all of those things can be, and we have people like Lakeisha, the police department talking about, they will also join forces. So, let's think about that, commission. I want to challenge the commission for that.
You don't challenge me on that, because I'm all in.
Okay, so let's, Mr. Cartwright, we've spoken on this one time before, let's just make it happen. So I'm definitely up there.
Mr. Wood, our communication, PIO, so hey.
Wow.
That goes along with that one Palatka deal.
Yeah.
That's what we want to do. And spoke to the city manager as well about how can we build a bridge, and we start talking about team building. And it starts here, folks, right here.
Right.
And I think y'all gonna see a change in this commission and going forward, cohesiveness, that's what we're here to do. So. I need some feedback.
I would make the motion that I will make the motion that we move forward with the approval of the Palatka Community Cookout, which I will be determined as AKA Unity Day, here in the city of Palatka.
Okay, the motion is second.
Oh, he seconded, okay. Commissioner Jones second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? Next. Fraser?
Give the spirit.
I think that's all gonna be very hard to top. My name is Stacy Eifold. I'm the community liaison for Feed the Need of Putnam County. This is Julia Warwick. She's a business owner in Palatka, and this is Becky Moats, and she works for the Excel program at Palatka High School.
She works all around.
And all around. Yeah. So I have to say quickly, I'm relatively new to the community. We moved here last year, and I'm overwhelmed by the amount of community and benevolence that you all have in the city of Palatka. Something I haven't experienced before. So if you all don't know about Feed the Need of Putnam County, we put the food in the backpacks that the kids take home over the weekends. Because a lot of them depend on the free meals and breakfast and lunch that they eat during the school days. And they go home over the weekend and don't have food in their homes. So we provide that to 800 kids each weekend of the school year. And then about 300 kids during the summer, we give snacks and drinks too, because it's not quite the same access to them. We also have a teen event, or I will say, I'm sorry, we put about a monetary value of approximately $286,000 into the Putnam County School District each year. And that's food, personal hygiene products, which also these students don't have access to like they should. Sometimes school supplies when we have them. We've also been able to rescue food through Feeding Northeast Florida and provide it to the Culinary Arts Program in Interlochen, which I know that's not Palatka, but right now they're the ones that have the program. And they use it to learn to cook the food, and they also use it at a church to provide to underserved community members. So we are having a fall gala and the Roaring 20s. Some of you joined us last year for the pirate party. Yeah. or I don't know if you.
Oh,
yeah, count.
The year before, yeah, yeah, you were there. So, we are looking for a sponsorship to the Fall Gala. It is our largest fundraiser of the year. And, I don't know if you all received a copy of the, sponsorship letter. You did? Okay, awesome. So there are different, levels of sponsorship. Each level gets a certain amount of tickets. And, of course, the platinum level is $2,000. We did have an anonymous donor of $5,000 who's wanting it to be matched. So if anybody wanted to match, I'm just speaking big here. 2,500 or $5,000, you'd still get the tickets, it'll be advertised on the banner. But did you want to add anything?
No, I think you did a great job.
Okay.
I'd encourage everybody to, attend. It's a
Oh, yeah.
great time.
Yeah.
It is a wonderful time for a very worthy cause, and I just want to say, this is one thing, and whatever funds that y'all deem appropriate, you know that that is an investment, that money goes straight to our kids that are in need. So, it's a very, satisfying gift for them.
Well, my kids were in school in Putnam County. I think that was one of the things that struck me when I would go to lunch. Is, I hadn't had enough exposure. But to see that there were actually children, the teachers, I guess, supposed to give the food, but they would set it aside, or one kid would be given to another, or something, and it was really touched me, that there's that many kids that are food insecure, and if you can't eat, you can't learn. So, the food is kind of fundamental for a child to be able to sleep, learn, and even behave well in school, right? They're gonna be agitated.
I can speak to this organization firsthand. I actually was a former board member of Feed the Need. So when Ms. Moak spoke to the funding going directly to the benefit, I can go back to my spiel that I gave with the backpack giveaway, that this organization has been beneficial to the youth, the kids in our community. I've had to carry those backpacks with the food in them to give to our kids. So I'm all for it. Again, anything that helps to the benefit of put food in our youth mouth. And sometimes, again, it's not just in their mouth, it's in their family's mouth.
Yeah.
Because of some of the items, the peanut butter and jelly, the noodles, everything that goes into it is beneficial to that household. So again, it's not only beneficial to the student at hand, the 800, so think about 800 students plus their families. So again, that's what we'll be assisting if we were to give.
And they go home, these big families over the weekend, which is so important. You have families that call up to the school and they ask for these things, so they're definitely in need. My question would be, I know, we used to have, there was a way that we would host tables at events like this as a whole.
And this is, because this is where the whole thing about the money came up.
Right.
So I'm not giving to the events, I'm giving to the organization. I think there's a difference, because if we give to the organization, it's at the discretion. I know at the organization level that the money is being utilized. My concern about giving to this event is that it's a paid event.
Yeah.
So I understand sponsorship, I understand all of that, but it's a paid event. Everyone does not have the same access to this event. So if I was to give, I'm giving to the organization. I'll give to the organization, not this event, because everyone does not have same access to the event as they do on the overall level, if that makes sense. Did that make sense?
Well, like last year, my table provided access, because I had.
When I say access, I'm talking about everyone having the equal access. Backpack giveaway, everyone has access.
I think what Mr. Campbell is kind of getting at, so like when we sell tickets to individuals that just want to go to support this, they're $50 tickets. kind of what he's saying. So if y'all decided to sponsor a table, y'all would get tickets, but I can understand what you're saying there.
Yeah, so,
But then all the money that we raise from this does go straight to the students.
so my thing is with the table, I'm not against, if I was to attend the event, I would pay to go to the event. I would not use my commissioner funds because I know what the event entails, as I know the overall entails, but I don't want that to be jeopardized and say, where did my money go? As far as,
Gotcha.
because there's adult things that go on, and again, that's not what my commissioner funds are for. I'm giving to the organization as a whole. But, and I know, again, this is where this whole thing about the protocol or coming back to the commission, this is actually the event that it started on. Because there was a concern about just having the commissioner's name being represented versus the commission being represented. So I don't want us to fall into that hole anymore. So I heard the presentation, but I didn't hear the presentation because I'm willing to give to the organization because I know what the organization does. I'm not giving to this event. If I decided to attend this event, it'll be something that I pay for out of my pocket. And I would not want the city's name on it because again, I'm very mindful of the activity, not saying that it's anything against.
No.
It's nothing like that, but I don't want the citizens to say, we are sponsoring certain things that are allowed in that building that we are not, I'm not putting my name on that.
Absolutely.
So
And we
I
can
will give to the
designate-
organization.
Yeah, we
And
can
I do
designate
have
the
a
funds
question.
straight to the
Yes.
food.
Don't we have a way, what are those parts, isn't there a way that you can contribute throughout the year? Like,
We do,
Okay.
yes, we have regular sponsorships that we can, I don't have, do you want any of the donor cards with you? So I've got these that basically just, basically talk about how much per week it takes to feed a kid, so, $400 a week, 36, there's the numbers right there. Not good right on the fly. Let's see.
So, Mr. Campbell, if hearing your concerns and fully validating them, being at the Shrine Club and the access to everything that the Shrine Club has there, right? Alcohol,
yeah,
right, I just put it out there. If y'all decided to just make a donation to feed the need, that would still be lovely. And of course, we would love for all of you to attend the event, for those of you that are comfortable, because it is a wonderful time for a worthy cause.
But I have one, I guess, thing that I would like to bounce off one of our city attorney, because what we did, we created the policy last year, it was vetted last year. I do know that we've had people who have given to organizations like the Bread of Life. I gave, and also to other organizations, nonprofit organizations, and so that would be something I think that would need to be, I guess, vetted by our city attorney in terms of how we can expend those funds. And we will have to get guidance on at least, correct. Yes.
As Commissioner Barnes said, the criteria was established, and it's in your binders,
Correct.
page 463.
yes.
Okay.
Option one.
And if you look at criteria number 3,
No, I think we did option, well, when we did the policy, I think we did option one. So, option one policy, but if that's what in there, yeah.
right, this is criteria for determining this year, and also the process for approval. So we had the criteria, and then you have the approval. And it's like Commissioner Campbell says that they shouldn't have received any special benefit different from the general public. And so therefore, I would not advise the commission to give for this event. We wanted to give to another overarching, to the organization, then that would be acceptable.
So I guess in order to save us some time, I guess discussion and consideration, I would respectfully ask in a form of a motion that we deny. Let me finish.
Yeah.
Before you look at it crazy. I make a motion that we deny the request for funding for the fall gala fundraiser and give this commission the discretion to give to Feed the Need organization in general, if they so decide to.
Second, and is there a amount that you're attaching to it?
The amount is, you got your money, spend it how you want.
Okay, and can you talk about that right there that I just gave you, please?
Payroll deductions, it is for school board, Putnam County School Board. But now I know a lot of people just do it within their own, bank to do like the automatic, deposits or withdrawals. So that's option two, but as far as the city of Palatka, y'all would not have that option to do payroll deduction. We would love for y'all to do that. Yes, so a lot of people just do automatic deductions out of your own paychecks through your banks or whatever, but for Putnam County School members, we can do it that way.
And the statistics that somebody, I think it was, Tammy that earlier, $25, will feed one child in Putnam County every weekend for 1 month, 100 for children every weekend for a month, and 200 will feed 8 children every weekend for a month. Currently, we have over 800 children that we feed every month. And that number is just growing, right? As people are moving into Putnam County, that number is getting bigger. So, but currently we're a little over 800.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor? Aye. Any opposition? Go ahead.
No, I was gonna tell the managers.
So I know I'll personally be getting with our finance director. I will be giving to the organization.
And I definitely will be giving to the organization.
Thank y'all so much.
But-
We appreciate it. Thank
And
you.
could you verify the date of the gala?
September 30th. September 30th,
September
yes, mark your
30th.
calendar. And if you want tickets, y'all let me know.
And I'll tell y'all a secret about Miss Mo that she goes to her seat. We were dancing at the gala last year and she can dance really well. She outdanced me, but she told me a secret. She was doing a Princess video. Yeah.
Oh, that's
Yeah, she danced in Princess video. So, yeah, that.
We also wanted to
thank you for not only allowing us to ask for your support, but to give us the opportunity to spread awareness about PPE.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for that.
Yes, thank you very much. Thank you.
Okay.
Number we obviously have one, with, number 8 has been accomplished, so we will move on to number 9. Ms. Grant?
ARPA.
Somebody reading the caption.
Resolution 2023 R184, a resolution, my microphone's not
So your
on.
mic not-
Resolution of the city of Palatka authorizing a one-time utility credit coupon for residential customers and commercial water and sewer customers within the city of limits of the city of Palatka, authorizing a past due account credit program for water and sewer customers within the city limits, providing for an effective date and providing for scrivener's errors.
So move.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. So this is a follow-up item from your June 16th workshop. You had some discussion surrounding how to spend the $150,000 you set aside in your ARPA funds for utility assistance. That's the title that we put on the allocation. So we went back to the drawing board, and basically what's before you is kind of a hybrid option where there was a total of 4,355 accounts at the time we estimated this. And we backed into being able to afford every single account $30 as a one-time utility credit. The other side of this is basically a delinquency assistance program. So in conversation with Ms. Atkins of the Gas Authority, we looked back and we had at the time $24,350 in past due delinquencies. So with a little bit additional funding, $5,000, we can actually do both programs. Now, the criteria for this utility assistance program is the commercial or residential water and sewer customer account must be located within the city limits of Palatka. The water and sewer account must be past due. I think that's a given. Program funds shall be applied to 75% of the past due balance. The customer must continue to make payments equaling an amount to satisfy the outstanding in future months to bring the account current within 12 months of enrolling in the program. They must sign a statement that the applicant experienced hardship due to COVID-19. We would supply a form statement. Penalties must have started accruing before May 11, 2023. And that date is important because that is the end of the federal declaration for COVID-19. Past due accounts will continue to accrue late fees until current. The program enrollment shall end May 11, 2024. We backed into that date based upon that 12-month payment cycle. Total expenditures of the program shall not exceed $24,350. However, just as with any project or program, we would monitor it and report to you. And if there was a need to move some funding, we would bring that to you for your consideration. So based upon your previous discussion, we wanted to give you this option. We believe it checked all the boxes of everything the commission talked about, and it's here for your consideration.
I just got one question on okay, on the 4,355 accounts. That was one, but then you said that there was another account that was delinquent for the account of delinquent.
So out of the 4,355 accounts, you have a small number of accounts that have a significant past due balance. That past due balance total for all those accounts at the time that I pulled these numbers, which was a couple weeks ago, was only 24,350 for all past due customers. So that's the max that we would estimate you'd have to allocate at this time.
Right, now, my other question would be from, as it relates to the delinquency piece. Now, I think there was one account in there for the concern there. It was a commercial building that was $5,000. But I think that building is for sale too. That building is for sale.
Even if someone sells the building, they still have bad debt with the city. So they would be able to use this program to satisfy their past due balance.
Understand, but what my concern is that we had an account that is over 5,000. Yeah. It's delinquent and it did not respond for whatever reason. And I guess this particular address, that building is for sale. So my thing is how, I don't feel comfortable with it. I don't do this myself. I wouldn't feel comfortable with approving that particular one because they sell the building. Buildings are going for, very good money now. So would the city not get any money back? I mean, how does that work?
that person can still be responsible.
Also, we don't know if the person owns the building or is a lease or tenant either, so. I mean,
I just have a concern with the city being able to get those monies back.
If you would-
Sell.
If you exclude those delinquent accounts, how much would it add to everybody else? How much would it add to every other account going up with the system?
Do this math twice, just to make sure that's 24,350 divided by 4,355. That's $5.59.
It helps more.
Almost $40.
I see.
Yes, you may.
I know we brought this up, we talked about it, but McCarty said that that's what they did at her former city.
Right.
$30, and I think a few people said $30 is a drop in a bucket. So I'm not even sure if it's worth the hassle to give people $30. If we can't give any more than that, is this really a good plan?
I think that's what was in the budget at the time when we went through it, and then that's when I brought this one up, because we was talking about, giving out those funding, and when I did the calculation, initially came up 20-something bucks, but then based on the number of accounts, because I was going over 5,000, when we dropped it back to 4,300 plus accounts, then now it's $30, but that's what we allocated. And we did not, transfer any more funds based on the ARPA, lines that we put in. And so that was my original concern. It's not gonna be very much when you look at the totality.
And we kept asking Brett, how are we helping our citizens as far as that were in need, and he kept referring to our water and other services, but when we start talking about how are they getting the money that was allocated to the city of Palatka, how are we actually having, not what services are you referring to? And I don't think we really, to be honest with you, I don't think we really got a good answer on that. And then Brett was here, I called him out on it, not really call him out, but bring that back up. I was thinking that we could help once significantly more, but if this is what it comes out to be, it changed my way of thinking, I'll say.
That's a good thought, and I think he said all those funds were exhausted in those programs, if I'm not mistaken,
Right.
that's what he said.
So
Also, what about those that may not want the system, may not need the $30 assistance? So how is there a way possibly, and I know that some folks that need it can possibly apply for it, just throwing these ideas out.
So,
Yeah.
But I think everyone has brought some very valid points. And I think had we not had some of those questions may not have come. Is there a possibility that we can look to giving funds to an organization that already does this kind of stuff and having them administer? Is that an option? Us giving us assistance, because again, I don't want $30. And I'm quite sure there may be others. But then again, I'm quite sure some people will need it and they may need more. Is there a possibility that we partner with somebody? I mean, I know some of the organizations that he named, Community Action,
What was it?
organizations.
There's a number of them in the community, commissioners, and I would suggest that if that's the will of the commission, we would advertise a request for proposals, since that there is some monetary gain to those organizations, and ask them to submit a proposal to administer that type of program.
I would support that, and I think it takes us not necessarily out of the equation. It kind of it doesn't. Yeah, we don't operate in that area, so I think somebody who does operate in that area will be more. Yeah, to,
And have the
Support of
that have
that.
the expertise,
Yeah.
yeah.
But we're gonna have to pay them to administer.
No, we're giving them an amendment.
Yeah.
Can we not put that as a part of the, because we're doing them,
You can advertise the RFP with whatever conditions that you desire. So you can say
condition.
you want to basically just grant the money to somebody.
Mhm.
But I would urge you to put some criteria on how you want the money spent. Like the different criteria or eligibility to draw the funds down as a citizen. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And two, I think we really need to think about our seniors, who not only struggled during COVID, but they struggle just from not having, this is fixed income. And then with the cost of living, with the inflation, among other things. So I think we need to really, look at how we can benefit and impact our seniors, because they take care of our youth, a lot of our youth, and the youth is our future. They paved the way, and we want to make sure that we take care of those who's taking care of our young kids. So we need to look at ways that we provide incentives, for those, as we carve out some fun.
And I think for sure, more of that, make it an opportunity that if we do decide to exercise the RFP portion, that we may put in there specifics that we expect a certain amount to be dedicated to senior citizens, or, I think that can be some stuff that we can carve out in the RFP as a request.
Right. And we do have, a 3% escalator in there for water infrastructure. So, they, even though it may be a $6-10 increment every year, they're feeling that, and they having to make some really difficult, hard decisions as it relates to medicine, or necessity with water bills or whatever else, with the utilities and whatever. So we didn't want to make sure we keep them in.
Okay, with all of that said, does someone want to entertain a motion and go that route?
I'll make a motion that we direct staff to propose an RFP to local community organizations that already have something of this nature set up, to entertain, to see. I'll make a motion that we direct staff to formulate an RFP to bring back to the commission, utilizing local vendors for consideration.
There's a motion and second, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition?
Nay.
Okay, we're going to move on to public hearings. Ms. Chris?
Sorry. Resolution number 2023 R185, a resolution of the City Commission of the City of Palatka, Florida, approving the fiscal year 2023-2024 non-ad valorem assessment roll for fire protection services, facilities, and programs, directing certification of the assessment roll and collection pursuant to the Uniform Assessment Collection Act, confirming required statutory notice, and imposing and levying fire service assessments, providing directions, providing for an effective date, and providing for scrivener's errors.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Griffin, or do you want to just bring Mr. Lawson?
Mr. Lawson, if you have a
Or,
question.
Good evening. My name is Mark Lawson. I work along with Dr. Owen Veitch with GAI and ENID as a group to administer to your non-ad-valorem assessment for availability of fire protection. I've done so since around 2015. This is your annual public hearing. I see the next public hearing deals with your figuring out how to deal with your taxation side of your budget. I will articulate and give the appropriate notice. The rate structure has remained the same throughout. This has been a robust process that have helped you raise money. It's sturdy, and it has several bills and whistles, if you will, that I don't need to go into, I don't believe, this evening. This is the time for public comment. I will sit down and take notes, and like I've done in the past, and try to give responses. Again, public comment means the result of a public hearing after the board is to hear, to listen, and that's part of due process, known as an opportunity to be heard. So I'm going to sit down and allow people to speak. I do have some comments for you after we're done. I've sat in the meeting tonight, and I'd like to share some feelings with you too.
Thank you. I'm going to open the floor up to public comments. Is there any immediate public comment on this particular item? Seeing none, we're going to close public comment. Welcome.
The appropriate motion would be to approve the resolution. Again, once you do that, we have a moment to address the commission.
I'll make a motion that we move forward with the acceptance or the adoption of the resolution that has been presented.
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
Hey,
You want to give us some hands?
Okay, go ahead.
Thank you for the ability to work with you. I'm going to head back to where I live in Tallahassee, but I'm working on the state. I am enheartened to listen to you tonight. I represent a lot of governments around the state and have for many years. I see a lot of joy and positivity in this room. Now you all conduct your affairs. I am privileged to work for you, and you as a group have performed admirably in terms of legislating locally. And you've moved me.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. I'm gonna head on. Thank you.
If I may,
You may.
Mark, I just want to say thank you for your extra effort. No one knows the extra effort that you exerted in order to get the fire assessment completed in a timely manner. And you really did put forth a lot of effort, a lot of time. And I just want you to know the city of Palatka appreciates your effort. Thank
Thank
you.
you. A lot of the people I've worked with become my friends. This is a project or a product that we do year round. You don't see me very often, but I do interface with your finance people and your management. I'll try to interface with you all. This has been a rinse and repeat exercise, but as you all likely know, it's founded in solid legal analysis where you did everything first. I guess I'll go ahead and tell you this. In your report, there's a footnote that says the way to do it is not how the city of Ocala did it. You heard a bunch of people that pulled ahead, didn't get into court first. They had issues that went on for 8 years. People were knuckleheads. They had an $80 million judgment against them. That's unnecessary. I won't do assessments without going and making sure there's a judicial thumbprint on it and we do everything right. So credit to all the people that I've worked with over time. And thank you for the compliment.
Yes, sir, I appreciate it.
I enjoy working with your community.
Thank you, Mr. Lawson.
It's certainly been a pleasure working with you, sir, since 2016. You certainly got our city headed in the right direction. Right, you coming on board, it was very difficult for us to balance the budget, and you really showed us the tools that was in our toolbox, and it's got us on the solid ground. So we thank you.
Thank you. Grant?
Thank you. The next public hearing item is resolution 2023-R186. A resolution of the City Commission of the City of Palatka, Florida, adopting the addendum millage rate of 6.4000 mils for the levying of ad valorem taxes for the fiscal year 2023-24, providing for an effective date, providing for scrivener's errors.
So,
Second.
Mr. Mitchell, Ms. Connie?
Yes, you know, that's the same one sitting here. Anyway, I wanted to come up and go over it. I can either, I'll do it quickly. Okay, so first of all, good evening, everyone. Thank you. This is a necessary step in our budgeting process in that we work with the department and we start out with our property appraiser and we certify the millage. And so for this year, fiscal year, we're living right now, 2023, the preliminary gross taxable value has increased from 559 million last year, and this year it is 661,523 as our preliminary gross taxable value. If we were to maintain the rollback rate, which has been calculated when I put everything in to 5.8587, that would not be a increase in our taxes. However, I am not suggesting that we do that rollback rate because that would only give us a revenue stream of about $3,578,000. If, on the other hand, we continue with the 6.4, which is the rate that we have for this year. So if we continue, just stay level at that rate, it would generate an additional, well, it would generate $4,233,000. Now that would be considered a property increase, tax increase. And the recommendation that I'm making, even though it says in paper, option 1 is option 2, and option 2 is to adopt the current millage rate of 6.4. I did an analysis to let you understand the differences, knowing that we have capital needs and infrastructure and so forth. But the rollback rate would generate the 3.8, the staying at that 6.4 would be $4,233,000. We also looked at another possibility of 7.0. That's it. I don't think I need to say anything else. We're still in the preliminary stages of the budget. We're almost completed, very close now. So at this stage of the game, I would say, please consider staying at the current rate of 6.40.
Thank you. Any questions in the front?
Yeah, I got one question. What would 6.375 look like?
Oh, you're so. But.
I'm not sure if you really want to know, or you're just trying to be funny.
We could calculate it.
Well,
Okay.
I mean, because here's what I like this. I mean, it would stay flat at 6.4 with the home values or business value, property value as a whole going up. I mean, I was just looking at some type of maybe reprieve from a tax standpoint. And if we did a 6.375, it may not, impact home for people who still own their homes and different things of that nature. The taxes won't go up. So that's what I'm more so looking at, even though we're staying flat. But then if we look at the rollback, then it will generate less. But if we kind of do a compromise in there, I would think that would count.
I have the answer.
What was the rate you guys put on? I'm sorry.
Somewhere with a 6.375 as opposed to
6.4.
Because what we did, our property values has gone up. So when our property value is going up, we got a rollback rate of this, and that would generate 3.7, almost. So we're generating funds, and even though you're holding it, even though you're holding the rate, then it's still increasing.
So Commissioner, if I may respond, it would bring $4,217,000.
6.375?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so.
$4,217,000. And at the 6.4, it would be $4,233,000. So it's only a savings, of about 16,000.
Well, we would just, what about 6.3?
Okay.
6.35.
All right.
6.35, we did do a half. I'm trying to help
Oh, I'm
taxpayers.
sorry.
Go ahead, Mr. Griffin.
So the tentative millage isn't what you lock yourself into.
Right.
So, I think, Commissioner Boral makes a very good point in what Ms. Carty was trying to illustrate with this one table. We could even give you more options at the next budget workshop, kind of staggered down from 6.4.
Right.
For you to consider leading up to when we actually push the ordinance forward to set the millage rate. So if you want to give us some direction, in addition to, approving this resolution, just give us what levels you'd like to see and we can put that table together.
Yes,
Okay.
but we do need the resolution, I think, to be approved.
Yes, ma'am.
Right,
Yeah.
we can do that. Okay, I don't have a problem with the resolution, I just want to look at if we can provide any kind of relief, because we're getting more revenue in based on the property values going up in this kind of.
I will provide that to you, at least 4 different options.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Any further questions? I'm going to open the floor to public comment on this particular topic. Anybody here for public comment? Ms. Kitchen?
Allegiant Kitchen, 1027 Southfield Street, Black, Florida. Mr. Board, if you wish to help the citizens go to the rollback rate. Roughly what you figured out on the 6 point, whatever you just said, 0.375, that's about 30 cents per 1,000, I think. It's not very much. But the rollback rate would keep our taxes the same. Inflation is going up. The groceries go up every week by anywhere from $2 to $5. Heinz ketchup right now, medium-sized bottles, about $8 a bottle, by the
Why
way.
you shopping?
Publix, Winn-Dixie, you name it. But the bottom line is, the point is, inflation is going up, your gas is going up, everything's going up. If the taxes stay the same, that would help greatly. And I figure it would lower the city budget by probably $655,000 maybe, which in the grand scheme of things isn't much, because y'all are real good at getting grants, but just a consideration, if you really want to help us do the rollback and then our taxes stay the same, at least that's one thing that won't be increasing. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else for public comments? Seeing now, we'll close public comments. Any kind of motion, second, all in favor? Aye. Any opposition? Okay, thank you. Moving on to commissioner comments, do we have any additional comments?
Just really quick, thank you to the commission for approval of the movie night. I also want to, bring forward for the commission, the citizens have noticed the camaraderie that we've had over the last few meetings. I've been approached several times by individuals, giving us kudos. We have not always been like this, but we are making strides to be more unified. And I think I got a lot of positive feedback with how we're diving into the budget and want to make sure that we have everything before us rushing into some hasty decisions that will possibly come back. So I just want to commend this commission for the professionalism that we have displayed over the last few meetings. Of course, sometimes we do speak out of passion. It's never out of disrespect. So I personally would like to apologize to the mayor if it appeared that I was going at you. I was speaking out of passion with regards to the subject. And so, again, kudos to this commission, kudos to our staff for always availing yourself and doing what it is that you all do best to make sure that we shine as a city and we shine as individuals who the public has elected. Without you all, we cannot shine. So we definitely appreciate you all for your hard work. And that's all I have to say.
Thank you. Does anybody else have anything?
I don't think we could say it any better than what you just said. I thank each and every one of you for the camaraderie we've had tonight and the glue that brought us together tonight. Thank y'all so much. And it's nothing but love. And thank each and every one of you all again for allowing us to represent you all and be your voice.
Thank you. Thank you. Anybody else?
Just again, I have co-signing on board water commissioner. Councilman, Mr. Casper said, and I want to thank the public for being here. One thing I like, Steve, is the public engaging the commission. One thing I asked, was make sure that, you be a part of the solution and not be part of the problem. And if you guys, have shown up, and you continue to show up, and look forward to continue to keep doing the changes. Thank you.
Look at that saying, I thank staff and the public that come and attend these meetings. I know that you up at the city to do all of this. Thank you, and I appreciate it all.
And our youth actually saying that's coming in.
Yeah. Oh, that's.
You can stand I second the motion.